So anyway, going back to what I had to say on the matter, 27 would be an important year because the question is, in skiing, where do I go? Where will I be? Will I be still competing in intermediate, or do I go and take a chance at advanced? And there, the advanced category, you have we have a lot of talent in advanced in our team. And right now, Ricky wants to have his spot. And I don't blame him for that. I don't. I really don't. You know, he got screwed over 3 times. I don't want him to be screwed a 4th over me. You know that me and him are like brothers, and and we're best friends. We stand up for each other, and it just seems at this point in time, how things have went since coronavirus, the Russian war, and then getting thrown out of the rug for somebody else. I understand his feelings, and I understand it. And to me, he's trying to get to the world stage before he retires, and I get that. Me, I got a long way to go yet, and I just, like I said, I just started skiing. I've been with the team for 5 years now, since returning to Special Olympics, and I do admit, there were no intermediate spots 2 years ago when national trials were open. So, but and I ask myself this question: do I rather stay in intermediate for 4 more years, or take a chance at advance and somehow knock off my best friend off his perch? That's the hard part I have to realize. I don't want to do things the hard way and mess up our friendship, our bromance of 20 years almost over a spot in 2029. And I mean, the only way possible we both get in is if I somehow become an alternate, and some reason I get put in somebody's place from another state. That's just how it's going to work. In terms of advance, that's how it's going to probably work out. But that's that's nowhere near what we're going to have to deal with next year. So we'll see what next year brings to the team, and then we'll see what 2027 brings, and then we'll find out from there. Now, speaking of 2027, I did say earlier that I thought my chances of making the World Summer Games in Santiago were probably dashed when I heard the news about Sam going to Nationals. No, that is not exactly true. And I was talking to my coordinator today, Shannon from our Area M chapter, and I asked her this. As I said, is the USA Games the prereq to go to World Summer Games? And she says no. There is still another way. There we go. I had to shut it off here. And I asked how. I said, well, it depends on your score from this year. And you got gold, right? And I go, yeah. Well, your score would probably be right in contention to get on to Team USA. So there is a possibility this year or next year I get picked to become part of Team USA bowling. And that it's just one of those crazy things, you know, and boy, would that be an interesting 2027 if that does happen. So, fingers crossed, somehow I get a pick. But all I know is this. The next several years are going to be not only interesting in terms of trying to get into any kind of world games, where it would be the summer or the winter games, because I know I will be in the hunt, for sure. More than likely, unless I get a freak injury, you know, which it probably will happen, then I would say, you know, I got a good chance coming into 26, between now and 27. And then when 27, at the end of 2027 comes and Team USA picks for winter happen, you know, we'll see what happens. So, on the other hand, the reason I was talking to my regional coordinator was I had a meeting today with one of the regional coordinators, Josh Burke, from our capital area region, and I had a conversation with him and pretty much all the staff from Special Olympics Pennsylvania about what happened with bowling and my story with coming through Special Olympics, my 30 years almost of competition, and going from playing football to competing in semi-pro ball to competing now back in Special Olympics for 5 years now, in alpine skiing and now in bowling, and maybe perhaps even more, you know, down the road if I decide to hang up the cleats once and for all. And they were talking to me, and Matt Aaron and Jordan Schubert, and they were really wanting me to become one of their new global messengers for Special Olympics. And I, you know what, honestly, I am so happy and thrilled that I got, that I'll be one of them. And, you know, it's something new, something out of the ordinary. But yeah, now I need is a mentor, and right now there's two sets of dates, one at the end of June and one at the end of October. The one set in June is set for the Pittsburgh area, and the other is in the Lehigh Valley, whether it be in Lehigh County or Berks. but they do know that the one in June is all set, and right now all I need is a mentor to get me to Pittsburgh, and so yeah, there's going to be some travel days for me again. So at least, but this will probably get me in the door to other things with Special Olympics a lot more. And if, like I said, if football doesn't work anymore for me, look, I know I got a couple more years left in the tank, but if the teams are not there, then I think I'd rather have a spend the rest of my my athletic days as a Special Olympian and being a global messenger. I'll be a global messenger no matter what if I do both. So, but it's an honor to get picked as to be chosen as one of the new global messengers, and Special Olympics PA. I won't let you down. So thank you so much for all that, and thank you for listening. This is 1488 signing out. We'll see you in the next video. Peace out.